What's up, vinyl community? It's Robert Fithen. It seems like a lot of people are talking about this Mobile Fidelity Sound Lab controversy, the allegation that there is some sort of a digital component in their audio chain of everything they've released in the last 7 years. Mike from the In Groove is the channel, I think, where a lot of this started. And he is totally owning this and is going to go get confirmation this week or something like that. But it's looking more and more like there's something to this. And everybody, it seems, is making a video on this. So I want to make one too. Here's mine. My whole take on this is not so much, it's just more like a fun thing to sit back and watch. Because for a while now, there's been certain audiophiles who claim that anything digital is bad, and they can spot digital from like a mile away. And now for the last 7 years, MoFi has been putting out supposedly digitally sourced stuff, and some of these audiophiles obviously have not been able to tell. Now, if I was like that, I wouldn't be showing my face. I'd be like cowering in a corner somewhere in complete and utter shame. I understand if that's not some other people's option there. So like I said, it's just kind of funny to kind of watch all this going on as somebody who doesn't really consider themselves an audiophile. It reminds me, I don't know if you remember this, back in 2001, okay, there was this like wine tasting thing where they invited all of these wine experts, these wine connoisseurs, the elite, from all over the world for this wine tasting. And what it was done by some hoaxsters or some pranksters that did all these different things to these wine people, and they had no idea what was going on. They would take like white wine and put like red food coloring in it. They had no idea. They would take like the same wine and pour it in 2 different glasses and be like, do a taste test. And the wine kind of sort of, oh yeah, I found this one. Notes of oak in this one that isn't in the, all that bullshit. And they were totally exposed as like, just bullshit artists. And I think the the Winemakers Association of the world had to get involved in a bunch of damage control, but it really did kind of leave wine connoisseurs with looking pretty bad. And I think that some of the audiophiles are kind of looking like that too, with 7 years of allegedly digitally sourced vinyl being played, and they're going, yeah, this sounds so much better than digital. I can really tell this is analog the whole way. But I'm actually not talking about a lot of people on YouTube anyway. A lot of these audiophiles that are just like completely anti-digital anything. You see them like on the Hoffman forums. Facebook had a lot of that going on. I'm not on Facebook anymore. Which, by the way, if you see my YouTube channel and you want to go further, I'm on Instagram under Robert Fithen Vinyl. I'm not really on Facebook. Some people have sent me Facebook friend requests, and I don't get to them a lot because I just don't really do Facebook anymore. But yeah, Mobile Sound Fidelity Lab, MoFis. I only have a couple. I know Mike from HubTunes has like over 100 of these things. He just put up a video about it as well. He can definitely tell you more about which ones sound great, which ones don't. I was never a big fan, so I don't have a lot. I like this. I don't think this has a less of a Beatles kind of sound to it. This sounds more like a 70s record. Yeah, it's clear and whatever, but it just has a different feel to it doesn't seem authentic. I never cared for this. My least favorite Steely Dan album, but it sounds okay. I mean, I'm just not a fan of mobile sound. It all started for me with this on CD. Remember they used to have the gold discs? I always thought this was real bassy and kind of blanketed sounding with the bass. And I think that the later remaster sounds much better for CD, and of course the vinyl sounds better. So maybe I just have had the wrong experience with Mobile Fidelity, and it's all a coincidence. But they have had problems in the past. Remember the Beatles' Magical Mystery Tour debacle, where their version of that is basically just the Capitol version with all of the the fake stereo of All You Need Is Love and Baby You're a Rich Man. They don't sound very good at all. And like the UK pressing is 20. It's no one's saying that it's better than the UK pressing. No one likes that Mobile Fidelity Magical Mystery Tour. So they have had problems in the past, and we'll see if they overcome this one. I know they had that huge, getting ready to do that huge one-step with Michael Jackson Thriller, and this is where all this came out. It's like, there's 20,000 or 40,000 or whatever these being made. They are not going to run that master reel that many times to get that many lacquers, so they can do that one-step process. So they've made some sort of allegedly made some sort of digital thing, like a safety master from the original tapes to make the lacquer from that. But, does that mean that my old cassette of Michael Jackson Thriller, that's obviously completely analog, not even any vinyl involved, does that now sound better than the one step coming up? You know what? Probably not. Probably not. But yeah, you have these people that hate anything digital, and now a lot of them are coming out saying, "Oh, well, no, actually, digital's fine. Digital's okay. I never said that." Um, hmm. So yeah, the whole thing with digital being fine leads to my question. Well, if digital is fine, why are some audiophiles dealing with vinyl records at all? Now, I collect vinyl records, maybe you do too, for different reasons. I like the aesthetic. I like watching the record go around on the label on the turntable. I have since I've been, 2 years old. I love the 12-inch, cover art and the gatefolds and just the whole deal. But I'm talking about people that are strictly audiophiles, that strictly want like the best sound quality, and that's it. Why wouldn't you just want the digital file then? If it sounds incredible, going from master tape to DSD file to vinyl, why not just cut the vinyl step out completely and just get the DSD file? Will there come a time when the audiophile vinyl is a thing of the past and we've gone back to digital now, and we're just all hearing these DSD files? There's some consumer grade DSD standalone player, or they make a plug-in add-on for computer or something, and everybody's just listening to DSD. I mean, doesn't that make sense? Wouldn't a DSD file from an original master tape sound better than a DSD file from a master tape put on vinyl record? I mean, you leave out all the is my tone arm correctly weighted and adjusted? The inner groove distortion. My stylus with the magnetic rolling. All that's out the window. It's a click and play digital, done. So it's really interesting to see where this will lead now that we've all kind of admitted that digital's okay. Some digital's all right. And I've said that kind of all along in my older videos. So I have all of these CDs still. Now, I'm not saying necessarily that CD audio is terrific, and I'm definitely not talking about MP3s. And I think that's the thing that people who hate digital or talk, negatively constantly about digital, they're probably talking about these overdriven CDs from the late 90s, early 2000s, with these brick-walled, loudness wars CDs where everything's got to be cranked up completely. Basically, the theory behind that was you wanted to be the loudest CD in the 5-disc changer. That's why I think all of that nonsense started. Well, nobody has a 5-record, changer like they used to in the 70s. So people are playing, albums all the way through. If you got to turn it up once, you got to do that. So there's less of that brick walling when it comes to vinyl mastering. So that's not really what I'm talking about. That's somebody's way of doing digital. That's a CD masterer's technique to brick wall that or to make that sound like that. Digital can sound just like analog if it's done correctly, if it's done with some sort of lossless file. This is what I understand Tidal, the streaming service, does. They supposedly, allegedly, stream lossless digital files made from master tapes of certain albums. They have the rights, they had the process. They don't have it with all of the albums they stream, but with some of them you can actually supposedly get the lossless digital file right off a master tape. Now, what could sound better than that? If you're going to do that and then put that on a vinyl, just cut the vinyl step out altogether. So that's what I'm saying. Will this be the end of audiophile vinyl? I remember audiophiles of old, because the opinions keep changing. I'm old enough to remember 1985, 1986. I remember this when it was released. This is Dire Straits' Brothers in Arms. As you can see, they're very proud, as a lot of CDs were in the 80s, that this is a full digital recording. Says it here, says it here. It's a full digital recording, and I remember people going nuts for this. This is what you wanted when you had the new stereo system. You wanted to demo it for your friends and show how awesome it is because you just got your digital CD player and your fully digitally recorded CD, and you just got your digital speakers with your, oxygen-free digital speaker wire, and everything was digital, so it sounded as absolutely incredibly best as it could. I remember that. I remember those days. I remember those audio files. I remember CD International Magazine, or ICE, You know, I used to read that for the best. I used to know which of the pressings, I guess they're not pressings, but which of the versions, I guess, which of the CD releases were the better quality ones, which hint, hint, it's usually ones from 1994, 93, 95, 96, 92. It's usually not ones from 1999 or 1989. There's a little piece of CD buying advice for you. But yeah, so I just remember all that. And now here we are all these years later. CDs suck. Oh my God, who would want to hear this? You've got to get this on vinyl so you can get a full digital recording on a record. Anyway, yeah, so it just keeps changing. It keeps, switching around what's supposed to be audiophile quality. And I just wonder if this is going to lead to maybe a go back to digital as long as it's a big DSD digital file and not like an MP3 or something like that. Some kind of lossless digital file. Will audiophiles now seek those out and forget about digital files transferred onto vinyl? Should be an interesting thing to watch unfold. I know Mike from, I don't know him, but I've seen that Mike from the In Groove is going to MoFi headquarters next week to straighten this all out. That should be interesting. We'll all be watching. We'll all be making videos because we see, oh, that one got all these views. I'll make one too. So yeah, everybody's making the videos. This is just my take, and I thought I have a little bit of a different take because mine is just sitting back and watching the audiophiles scramble to just try to like, oh, digital's fine now. No, I never said digital. No. All these sound great. Yeah, I knew the whole time. What? Shit, you know me. I knew the whole time. A lot of that going on right now. Again, not necessarily on YouTube audiophile channels, but it's mostly Facebook and the Hoffman forums where these people are just like, obviously a little embarrassed. I'm Robert Fitton. That's my take on the whole MoFi situation. I just wonder, again, I don't collect records strictly to get the absolute best sound quality. I've got rock and roll ears. That's a term that radio people throw around, musicians throw around, roadies throw around. That's when you've been to hundreds of concerts. You've had big-ass speakers blasting in your ear. For me, I've already had that, but I've also had a bunch of headphones blasting in my ears, not only for leisure time, but for work for the last quarter of a century. I've got rock and roll ears. I'm not hearing subtle nuances like, I did when I was 20 years old. So I'm fine with putting on a record that I found at the, the flea market, cranking it up. Oh, there's a click, there's a pop, whatever. It's still a record. It's still an original. It still looks, it's still an artifact, basically. Anyway, thank you so much for watching and listening to my take on this. What's your take? Make your own video or just leave a comment in the comments. But again, I always love the interaction. That's why I do these videos. I keep trying to comment on all the great vinyl community videos that I see. And thanks for having all those out there. And thanks to Mike from the In Groove and all the others that have provided this information and, kind of pulled back the covers on this, made this expose possible, alleged expose. Thanks again, everybody.